Hey everyone, I'm here to do some training about Facebook marketing and also specifically how to find targeted leads. Um, I know there's a lot of different ways to generate traffic, but one of my favorites is through Facebook. And I'm going to show you today how to find your leads and to find leads that are not just good leads, but super targeted, laser targeted people that you know are interested in what you're selling, that are want what you have to offer. Okay, I mean that's really critical. I mean that will save you a lot of time. That will save you a lot of expenses because one of the things with paid advertising is you can spend a lot of money wasting your time trying to catch everyone when you really should be focusing your 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 ads specifically at certain demographic groups that you know is going to be interested in what you have to sell. Okay, so first thing first is that you really before you start any type of ad campaign, you have to think about a couple things. The first thing is that you have to create a what is known as a customer avatar. Okay, and a customer avatar is a shorthand way of saying what does your ideal customer look like? Okay, what is this person that you're trying to sell your product to? What is this person look like? Okay, and of course, what the avatar looks like depends on what you're trying to sell. Okay, I mean, like for each product that you're selling or for anyone is selling, the avatar is going to be different. For instance, you're not gonna if you were a beef seller, your avatar is not gonna be vegetarians, okay? And you know, and if you're trying to sell vacuum cleaners, your customer avatar is not going to be people who don't have carpets, all right? And along the same lines, if you were selling beef, then obviously you want to look for people who love beef and who enjoy eating beef, and probably people who are on the paleo diet. They'll probably be your best customers. All right, so um, you know that's generally speaking, that's what you want to do. I mean, you want to sit down and really think about who your ideal customer is and what do they look like, and some of the things that you want to spend time on, and you want to spend as much time as possible, is that you really want to narrow down the characteristics of your ideal customer. For instance, you want to think about, how old is this person? What educational background do they have? What kind of interests do they have? What kind of sports do they like to play? Those things. I mean, you have to kind of get into the mind of the person you're trying to promote and advertise to, because you want to create an ad that resonates with them. And the more resonance that your ad has with this avatar, then the more likely that it's going to be successful. You also want to, think about how much money this, this ideal customer has, because obviously you want to direct your ads towards people who can buy your product. You know, um, the one thing that I like to kind of keep in mind for myself is that I want to have my avatar resemble me as much as possible. And the reason why is not because I'm egotistical or I'm vain or that I just know that people who buy products, they tend to do so from people that appear to be like them. And I'm not talking about necessarily ethnicity or race, or I'm talking about social economic background. Okay, so if you have an interest that is similar to what your avatar has, or your ideal customer has, then you're more likely able to relate to that person. Or another way is that for instance, if you have the same background, you're married, you have kids, you tend to have, or you live in the same area or same same geographic region, then you tend to have something in common with your customer avatar. So that allows them to relate to you better, and that allows your message to have greater resonance. Because, like, again, there's an old saying that you got to keep in mind is that people want to uh, associate or buy from people that are like them and that they can relate to and that they can find similarities with. Okay, so that's something you really keep in mind. All right, and the most important thing that you want to consider and keep in mind is how can you best serve, how can you best help your customer? Okay, what is it that you can offer service wise or product wise that can best help your ideal customer? You want to think about what are they struggling with? Okay, what things do they need help with? What needs of theirs that you can meet with your service or your product, and what problem can you solve for them? If you can do these things, if you think about these things before you create an ad, you're going to be, you know, heads and shoulders above anyone else who's doing this. Most people just kind of throw ads out there and they have no idea what their customers trying to look for, and they their ads are not even targeted. Their ads are scattered over the place, and you don't really know what exactly they're selling and why they're selling this, and they're just hoping um, that they catch somebody, and they basically try to cast the largest net possible in the hopes that they somehow can track or can capture or track their ideal customer, when it really doesn't work that way. You got to find your ideal, and then you got to cast a very narrow net in order to catch this person. You actually don't have to catch this person, because if you have thought about this properly and your ad has resonance, then your ideal customer will come to you, will track you down, as opposed to you having to track them down. All right? So after you figured out what your ideal customer looks like, the next thing you want to do is you want to think about, where does this person congregate? Okay, where does this person hang out? Where does this person spend their free time? Or how does this person spend their time and their interests? Okay, so an example would be, what's the best place to find them? Essentially, that's what I'm saying. What's the best place to find them? Now, an example would be that, if you were selling SUVs, you probably don't want to go to a environmental convention, okay, to sell your SUV, okay? That's just, you're not going to make that many sales, and you're probably going to get your vehicles firebombed. Same thing is that if you were a pork saucer salesman, you probably don't want to go to a mosque to to sell pork. Okay, that it's just probably not the best place for it. But if you had developed a new quick loading magazine for an automatic pistol, then you probably can make some sales at a gun convention, right? Or a gun show. I mean, you're gonna most likely find people who are interested in what you have to buy, have some need for it, or something. I mean, they're probably gonna find buyers. So the idea is that you are going to find your customers where they are. Find where they're located, and the best place. And this is going back to Facebook. I just find that Facebook makes it so easy for me to do this, because they have this function called fan pages and and groups. Okay, and let me give you an example. Okay, so let's go and look for a Facebook group. So let's go back to our analogy or example about the gun salesman. So let's just do a quick search. Okay, so I'm gonna look for instance, Smith and Wesson. Okay, they are um, they are a well-known gun manufacturer. So all right, so look what we have here. Okay, we've have a whole bunch of different groups that fan pages and fan groups of people who are very interested in Smith and Wesson. So if you had a product, if you were a gun, uh, what's the word? I'm somebody who manufactures gun products. But anyway, if you are in that, if you are a manufacturer, then you'd probably be interested in these groups, and where these people, you probably want to get to know these people because clearly they are interested. They most likely would be interested in what you have to offer. Okay, so you want to pay attention to these groups. Same thing with fan pages. You can do the same thing. You can do the I'm not going to do a search, but you can do that too. Searching for fan pages of Smith and Wesson, you'll probably find the same thing. Now, this is one of the beauties of Facebook is that it's so easy to do this. Okay, you I'll go in one of these groups right now, and you can see that sure enough, they're talking about guns and Smith and Wesson, blah blah blah. And so it's really easy to find these groups. But and here's another thing too, is that if you have requested to be in one of these groups, if you're a person who has joined, for instance, the Smith and Wesson group, um, you can you can bet that this person has a high interest in uh, in this product or this group or this brand. Okay, and you can almost bet that this person probably owns something that's made by Smith and Wesson, right? So you are looking at a buyer right there, and that's another type of marketing that you need to consider is that you want to look for buyers. Okay, you don't necessarily want to look for people who are tire kickers. You want to look for people who own products that you want to sell. And again, if you are selling Smith and Wesson products or something that relates to it, then, or for instance, like you're selling holsters for Smith and Wesson products, then this group right here is a perfect place for you to advertise your product to because you know that they're Smith and Wesson buyers. Same thing with a fan page. A person who is very active on a Smith and Wesson fan page is most likely somebody who has owned Smith and Wesson products. Okay, so so how do you? So the question is like, well, okay, now that you know who your ideal customer is, and for the sake of this example, your ideal customer, is a Smith and Wesson buyer. Okay, and I don't know what your views on guns are, and I don't really care because that's not really important right now. I mean, I'm just using this as an example. Okay, so don't get too if you are a gun control person, then good for you. But I doesn't really matter. Just stick with me for this example. Okay, so you know that your ideal customer is a Smith and Wesson um, enthusiast, and you also now where they congregate. Okay, so how do you create an ad to target this person? Okay, because for instance, you're selling I don't know a magazine or a holster that is designed specifically for a Smith and Wesson model. Okay, and I don't know if this is true or not, but just stick with me. So in the past, what people have done is that a marketer would do is they would painstakingly go through and just join these groups. Okay, I mean you join these groups and you kind of build relationship with a lot of the members of the group and get their trust. If you were smart, that's what you would do. Of course, you would befriend some of these people and get to know them, build relationships, build the relationship with the administrator of this group, and it's a long process. Okay, sometimes it takes weeks, sometimes it takes months to kind of post in there for a long time, and then you kind of start marketing, and you have enough credibility where you can start marketing, and then it takes a while to build this relationship. Okay. And if you are dumb, then what you would do is you can go to these groups and you can start spamming them with your links and your ads, which of course everyone would ignore because they would feel insulted that you came into the group and start spamming them. Okay, so there's a better way to do this. Okay, if you wanted to have an ad that targets Smith and Wesson owners, you can do this in a much more efficient way. And there's a program now that just came out a couple of weeks ago, and will allow you to do this. Okay, so let's go back to our Smith and Wesson example. Okay, so I'm going to type in Smith and Wesson. Oh, I gotta log in first. Sorry. All right. So you know, we got the Smith and Wesson group, and you see that that this group here, this particular group, has 146 members. Okay, so what you want to do is now you want to run an ad that targets specifically these people in the group. So what you do is then you click extract, and then you save. Um, Smith and Wesson. Okay, and you can do this. You can go through this and basically uh, repeat the process with each group. And now, there's something for you to remember or consider is that there are two types of groups in Facebook. One is an open group and one is a closed group. And the open groups is where the membership is known, and you don't have to be a member of that group in order for you to see who's a member of it. Like right now, like this is an open group, so I'm not a member of this group, but I can see who is. And then you also have a closed group, right? Closed group is where you actually have to be a member before you see who the other members are, and what they're posting. And so, this program only works with open groups, okay, or closed group that you're a member of. So anyway, so basically you go through and you extract these members, and then that's it. Then you have a list of targeted leads for people that would be very much interested in what you have to offer. Okay, and the thing is that Facebook has a let me go back to this and make sure I save it in the right place. Okay, let me save it on desktop so that I can find it easily. All right, so you extracted the identities of people in this group. So what do you do next? Now, Facebook has this really cool function called custom audiences. Okay, so what that is that you can um, create an audience specifically for an ad, and I'll show you how to do that. And this only works with Google Chrome browser. Okay, so you can't use this with Firefox, you can't use this with Internet Explorer, and you can't use this Opera. You can only use this with Chrome. So I'm in Chrome right now, and so you can see that I have a bunch of custom audiences that I've created already. And so what I'm going to do is create that custom audience for Smith and Wesson. Okay, so basically I'll just call it Smith and Wesson. And then I want to indicate that I'm retrieving their identification and send the choose file, and the file is, all right, if I can find it. I need to really clean up my desktop, by the way. All right, here you go, Smith & Wesson. Okay, so, and it will create this for me. All right, and it takes a little bit of time for this to complete, but I'm not going to go through the whole process for you because I'm going to end this video now. This is going to be the first part of a multi-part series of how to create ads and maximize ads for Facebook. But I wanted to introduce you to this custom audience function and how to extract IDs from user groups and fan pages from Facebook so that you can create ads targeting these individuals. And I'm also going to show you later on how to well, actually I'm going to show you, do it right now. So like for instance, let's go to Smith & Wesson fan page. All right. All right, so this is a fan page. Um, here's all right. Um, this one is not a good example because there's not that many people in there. All right. No, I think this is a group, but anyway, but I'll show you how to do this anyway because it doesn't really matter if it's a group or a fan page. So, for instance, you are um, you are looking at a fan page and you see somebody who's really interested in um, or who's really active. Like for instance, this person is obviously a big fan of Smith & Wesson, is a leader in the group, who's always posting. And what you want to do is then this person, you really want to have this person be targeted in your ads. So how do you do this? And I'm going to take this person as an example. So the way you do this is that you can actually extract their ID, and it's really easy to do this by typing in graph and then boom. Wait, hold on. Whoops. Not doing what it's supposed to do. All right. All right, that's it. You type in graph right before Facebook, and then what will happen is that you have this person's ID. Okay. and then you then can enter this ID into your custom audience, okay? And you add user and I you know ID, and then you just basically add it to that group. That's that's another way to add people to it, you know, who aren't in groups, who are in pages, whatever. And you also can do the same thing. Like for instance, this program has pages, right? So you want to type in Smith and Wesson. Okay, no Smith and Wesson pages. All right, no, there they are. So basically, there's some Smith and Wesson pages, and then what you do is you right-click, and then you extract. Okay. All right. All right. Zero post. Um, no post. All right. Two posts. So basically, then you can do the same thing. You save members, and what this function does is that it will extract posts or persons who have posted on this Facebook fan page. So you can get their ID numbers and you can put it into your custom group. Okay, so basically that's how you do it. Okay, so in this video, what I've shown you is one, how uh, to figure out who your ideal customer is, and this, by the way, this idea works with any product, with any promotion, with any service. It doesn't really matter. Okay, as long as you sit down and give some thought to this, you will be able to find out or figure out who your ideal customer is. And then once you have your ideal customer, then you're going to be able um, to find where they congregate. And if you're on Facebook, then it's really easy to find where they congregate because they're most likely in Facebook groups and they're active in Facebook fan pages. Okay, and once you find that, then you can extract information and you can create a custom audience in which from there you will be able to create an ad that is targeted specifically at this group, at this customer, these leads that you have in your possession, and you're more likely to make a sale, and you're more likely to be able to relate with them because you know who they are exactly. So you can tailor your messages and your ads to them and to their needs, so that you don't spend your time spinning your wheels and trying to figure out who wants what, or trying to target a person who has no interest in what your product is. So that these people are big fans of what you have to offer. So all you have to do is tailor your message towards them and direct your ad towards them, and your response rate is going to be phenomenal. Okay, in the next training series, I'm going to show you how you can create ads that are going to uh, do exactly what I've just talked about. They're targeted. They speak to the needs of your ideal customer, and they're most likely going to attract them. And then also they're going to provide you with a really substantially high click-through rate. Okay, so they're going to be more responsive. Um, so you are getting more bang for your bucks, so to speak. So basically, your ad dollars go further because you know that the people that you're advertising to are going to be likely to purchase. All right. So hope that you've learned a bunch of stuff from this video, and I'm going to be creating another video very soon that walks you through the entire process of creating a Facebook ad. All right. So we'll see you again.